Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host. The new Black.
All right, beautiful people, man. Good evening to you. Let me see and make sure. I know last time we had a problem with audio. I think we should be good today. We should be good. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on the new Black Wall Street, man. We're going to be talking about cryptocurrency tonight. I've got a partner that's been helping with stock market, so I can kind of switch my focus because we kind of talk about the same stuff with the stock market. So I figure, well, I'll try to help out with understanding cryptocurrency a little bit better. I've been talking about cryptocurrency for about 5 years, teaching on it and stuff like that as well. Had a class on it as well, but now it's I guess you can say more of a hot topic. Now that Bitcoin is almost at 30,000 per coin, and luckily I was a guy that just was willing to take a risk. Back when it was $1,200. So, I'm feeling pretty good. But, some people still trying to contemplate whether this is real or whatever the case may be. So I get it and I understand all of that. I had questions. I had concerns as well. I think the only difference for me is that, I've been an individual who's made plenty of dumb decisions with money. So I'm not averse to risk. I'm willing to take a risk on something that I see maybe promising for the future. To give my money an opportunity to grow, to be more valuable tomorrow than it is today. The thing about money is that more often than not, it's less valuable tomorrow than it is today, and that's where we find ourselves wasting or spending money on things that lose value, or we don't do anything with it and we lose value just based off inflation, which means that the price of living goes up, right? Which is why. There's this big fight for, increasing minimum wage because the cost of living is going up. Cost of living is more expensive to live in today's land than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So the only way that you kind of catch up or you stay current, at least with the rising of cost to live, is to find a way to make your money become more valuable. And when I talk about money, I'm just not talking about cash or anything like that. I'm talking about equity. More valuable tomorrow than it is today. And one of the ways that you can do that is through this thing we call investing. So there's a lot of different vehicles for investing. I talk about a couple, but I don't shoot on any other vehicles that might be out there to attempt to have your money be more valuable, increase in value tomorrow than it is today. So we're going to talk about cryptocurrency today. I will say that I'm not going to say I'm an expert in cryptocurrency. I understand it enough of it to talk about it and to try and educate people to what I know. So you may have questions that I don't have answers to. But I think anything can be learned if you're willing to study it. And so let's just say I'm going to be doing more studying of it. Now that it's, because there's so many of them, but it's just like, to me, it's just like the stock market. There's so many different companies. And if I wanted to learn more about those companies, I would have to study those companies too. So I don't see any big difference. I'm just changing my asset from a company to a digital currency. And that's what crypto is. It's a digital currency. And, I kind of see it as something that's usable for the future. And the reason why I would say that is because I realized that, money has changed over time. What we consider to be useful now wasn't the same thing that we used 25 years ago, 30 years ago. It wasn't the same thing that we used when this thing called exchange was, first became a thing. You have something of value. I have something of value. We exchange something. We make an agreement some type of way. And now we use Tinder, which would be cash, which now is not even cash much more. It's more credit or swiping or something in exchange for whatever it is that we want. So everybody put in the comments below, exchange. We'll get right into this conversation after we pay a few bills from the Black Bazaar.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Check out the Black Bazaar by simply going to the website www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. Shop black, be black, all that good stuff. We appreciate your help as we continue to grow that business as well. But let's get into this thing, man. We're going to talk about crypto Coinbase. I'm going to be sharing a couple of different, I guess you can say, tools that I use, and there's more out there. If you in order for you and I to begin to actually study, because this is for many of us, this is new. This is foreign, and just like if we were learning a foreign language or anything like that, we have to kind of dive into it. And the thing about this is it's more, it probably is going to be a little bit more self-study until you start to find like-minded people and start to have these discussions and keep up with the news and all that stuff. It's similar to what we have in every other industry. It's just, I guess you could say, a little bit more secretive, selective, not as accepted, or not as mainstream. I would say not as mainstream, because it's not mainstream. It's not it's not on the news every day and things like that. You kind of have to be in the know in order to kind of get into this thing. So anyway, man, hit the like button, share button if you care, like button, share button if you care, if you can. We're broadcast across 3 different platforms with Facebook and also YouTube, and a couple of different groups as well. And also let me know where you're connecting from. I'd love to know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly. I have reached people internationally, so I don't take for granted that you might not be in the United States. But I'd love to know just how far our reach is this evening, as we're going to be getting into a discussion or talking about cryptocurrency. And also, I guess my last question or my last comment would be, I see that Miss Angela Mitchell has she says hey, happy holidays. So she says she has a Coinbase account, need to learn more about it. Well, hopefully tonight will be a good night for you to do that. I think it's a very, I would say Coinbase is user friendly, and I think they have a lot of things that could help. It's not the only thing that I use, but it's the thing that I started using to acquire cryptocurrency, and it hasn't. I haven't had any issues with it, so I feel comfortable, doing a referral for it or letting people know about it, and if it's a place that you like to go. So I'll get into Coinbase in just a second. What you're looking at now is is coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com is just a place I go when I just want to see what has happened, what's been going on over the past few days, few weeks, what's going on. What I like to, let me see if this is big enough for you guys. I think it is. The first thing that I kind of look at, or to draw your attention, was the very top line of coinmarketcap.com. This here is the top line, just shows you, how many cryptocurrencies there are in the world. There's 8,150. So when we may think that, not a lot going on, 8,000 cryptocurrencies have been created, over 8,000, in this time frame, probably a 10-year period, maybe a little bit more. They are exchanged in over 34,000 different markets. So this is where people buy and sell or trade or exchange their cryptocurrency for whatever money they may be acquiring, because it's you could be using dollars, or you could be using pesos. I don't know. It's the global. Then you have the market cap. So market cap would be how much money total is actually with all these 8,000 cryptocurrencies, how much is the whole market worth? If you brought up the value of all those different cryptocurrencies, put them all together, how much is the market worth? So we're talking about a $765 billion market, right? $765 billion is the value of all the money, right, that is currently in that with acquired coins in cryptocurrency. So this is the total 34,000 markets with the 81,050 cryptocurrency, and that brings your market cap. Now, what you could do is you could actually divide the 765 billion divided by 8,000, and that'll give you an average of what each coin, no matter what it is worth. But you don't really want to do that, but you could. That's how you could find out the average value of cryptocurrency. It's not going to be accurate for an individual currency as far as its own market, but you could do that and see that as well. Then you have volume. This is going to be the amount of people or transactions that are taking place between buyers and sellers. And so in the past 24 hours, so you have $190 billion worth of movement that's taken place in the past 24 hours. And then you have BTC, which would be Bitcoin dominance. So 70% of the whole market, the whole cryptocurrency market, 70% of it is Bitcoin, which is the number one, which is the Titanic, which is, what really, I guess you say, really drives the market. It's kind of like saying, I don't know, Amazon, I guess, would be the driving force of the stock market, maybe, or Apple. I'm not quite sure. One of the two. What's going on, BTC? See here. What's going on, Miss Vivian in the house? Tallahassee has joined us. Thanks so much for joining us. Mr. Timothy Moore out of Nebraska. What's going on? Oakland, California, man. OG, Terry, OG, thanks so much for joining, man. How you doing tonight? Brooklyn is in the house. Boston. What's going on, Miss Yvette? How are you, Miss Lumpkins? Thanks so much for joining us. Brooklyn in the house. Miss George, how are you? You just bought shares of Voyager. I'm thinking about using their platform to buy Bitcoin. Shares in Voyager Digital. Okay, so is Voyager Digital a platform where you can buy Bitcoin as well? What's going on, Miss LaShawn? Miss Herbert Evans? What's going on, South Carolina? Fort Worth, Texas. Miss Lynn Jefferson. You got my last name. Well, I've been finding a lot of Jeffersons lately. What's going on? A lot of Jeffersons lately. So anyway, so that's going to be kind of an overview of of the market. So for those who just don't believe, I mean, it's okay, but there's a lot of people who do believe, and there's a lot of money in this market. Now, let's talk about market, for example. I mean, for a second, because I want us to understand that a market is just simply where a marketplace is just simply a space where a buyer and seller will meet. So we have a virtual marketplace, which would be like an Amazon. Amazon is a marketplace. It's where a buyer and seller meet. A seller has something to sell. A buyer has something that they want to buy. They meet to exchange, and then that exchange takes place, right? So a marketplace is nothing more than a space where a buyer and seller meet. You have the stock market, right? It's a marketplace. So you have Wall Street is a space where an investor looks to acquire an asset, and they got to acquire for someone who owns it. So they sell it, right? And then the investor buys it. So that's a marketplace for stocks. Then you have the real estate market, right? That's where someone owns a home or, they own some property. And, in the real estate market, there's an exchange where a buyer buys from a seller, right? You have the grocery market, right? Where farmers take their produce, I guess you say a farmer's market. Farmers take their produce. That's the asset. And then you have the shoppers who go there to buy the produce, and they meet at the farmer's market, and that's where the exchange takes place. So just notice that all we are doing is changing assets. Just changing assets, right? In one case, you got, produce being the asset. Another case, you have real estate being the asset. Another case, you may have a vehicle being an asset, which, we won't necessarily say they're all assets, but it's something that people want to acquire. Tonight, we're talking about this thing called a digital currency or a digital coin, which is considered to be the asset. It's owned or it's created or mined in some cases. And those are the people who own it. And then you have people that are looking to acquire it. And when you have, huge demand for something, and you have limited supply for that same thing that's desired, then that causes the value or the price of that particular asset to go up. It's just competition, right? There's more people that want it than can be fulfilled, or there's a lot of demand coming in for every little bit that becomes available, and it drives the price up. It drives the value up because a lot of people want it. When people don't really want it, then it drives the price of something or the value of something down. So that's just simple economics, right? Is that simple enough? If that's simple enough for you, just put in the comments below simple. That's simple, right? Just keep it simple. If a lot of people want it, it goes up. Not too many people want it, probably is going to go down. You can look at your local area. You can see where businesses that were once very desirable, where people drove miles and miles to go and visit, they're less desirable 10 years later, 20 years later, then you start to see a Blockbuster in a Circuit City go out of business because they're less desirable. And that's kind of how businesses go out of business. They become less desirable to the public. Okay. So there's a big, demand or a big desire for this new thing. For many people, it's new, called cryptocurrency, in particular Bitcoin, which is the number one coin. Bitcoin right now is showing to be valued, or its price for one whole Bitcoin, $28,525. Now, I know many people, they just simply can't fathom the idea of paying $28,525 for something that they can't hold, as something they can't see. It makes it very, very difficult to believe. But here's the interesting thing about this word belief. That's what it comes down to. It's what people believe, right? And if your belief is strong enough, and there's enough people that have the same belief, then you can turn anything into an asset. Hence the reason why, the state in which we live in now in our economy, when it comes to the dollars that we acquire through the hard work that we do, and the value of that particular dollar, it all comes down to belief, faith. Now, it does something. It has some value. It has some measurable, but what it's worth really comes down to how much people want it and how much people believe in it. And those who don't believe, they don't have. They don't acquire. They don't research. They don't learn. They don't care, right? But those who do believe, they went out and got them a little bit. And maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they said, hey, what the heck? Let me just see what's going on. Let me just try. Let me take a risk. And now they're looking, they're like, wow, wait a second. That's what's up. Now, how many guys been rocking with me long enough? I think it was maybe 2 years ago, right? We had the big push, right? We saw it go from about $12,000 to about $20,000, and to about $19,000, and then it tapered off, and now we've passed the 19,000 rate all the way up to 28,000, getting close to 30,000. Here's what I'll say, just so you know, I've always kind of been buying. What I do is I just kind of put it on autopilot. I just hey, every week go buy $25, $30, whatever, every week. Just keep buying. I just have never stopped buying. So it's just been accruing over time. I'd be probably amazed to see what that account looks like now. But I am really concerned as well because of where it stands right now. We've been through this before, right? we've been through a space where, well, no, don't worry, don't be annoyed. That's a good point. So Timothy said, I had something sold when 19,000 when started dropping. So know what I did. And here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing, Timothy. Here's what most people do, and it's okay because it depends on where you were in your position. If you sold at 19,000 or whatever, but you bought it when it was 10,000, then that doesn't matter. You just captured some profit, right? Now, if you kept up with it and you said, well, hey, I liked it at 12,000. I didn't like it at 19,000, but now it's at 8,000. I probably like it again. And you went and bought it again at 8,000. Well, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at this chart. Let's see if I can take a look at this chart so we can make it make sense. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come over to Coinbase, and let's look at Bitcoin. Oh, let's do this. Let's look at Bitcoin. All right. Let's see. Is this gonna be my bigger? About as big as it get? Let me see if I can get bigger over here. That chart not. Oh, here it is. Let's go. I don't want to do that. Let's go here. All right. So I think this is when it came. Yeah, here we go. So December 19th of 2017 is when it got. Look at this chart. This is interesting, right? So 2017. So we're talking 3 years ago. 2017, we had a big push up from this when it it rose from $2,000, right? About $2,000 back on July 22nd, went all 2017, went all the way up to 19,000, I believe 19,000 on December 13th of 2017. So it went through that period up through basically through Christmas. Then it dropped, came down to 8,000, right? Like I just said, right? And then it kind of slowly declined through the beginning of this year. The beginning of 2019. And then since 2019, it's been on a kind of a steady incline. Got all the way up to 10,000 again. It touched that mark in 2019. Then it came over here, right here with the pandemic. March, it dropped to 5,000. And then it's been on an increase ever since then. So on March 14th of 2020, it was basically a $6,000, a $5,000 coin, right? This is the beginning of the pandemic where everything dropped. But the interesting thing is that, it became, this is where a lot of money started going into, and I think the reason why is because people really realize that what has been will not always be. Like I think 2020 was the turning of a new life for many of us, right? Where it's really no going back to how we used to do things. With the advent of technology and stuff like that, to me, it always made sense that we're advancing so much with technology that our money would also advance with technology as well. But at any rate, Mr. Moore, you could have, you might have sold at 19,000 or whatever the case may be, but you could have came back in and bought it at 8,000, 5,000, back in your sweet spot where you felt, this is really valuable at this particular price. And that's the same thing with any other asset. Assets can drop. Now, here's my concern. My concern, though, is that it's way extended, way extended, and I would say that it's due for a fall. It's due for a reduction in price. Probably back down to about 20,000 if it can hold there. this is this meteoric rise is due to the COVID, due to our time with COVID. Money has to go somewhere, and they found a good place for it to go, for it to increase in value. But we're probably coming to the end of the said scare, although it'll still be around. But the scary part of the COVID-19, probably in the next 3 to 6 months. I can't see us still having the fear with the pandemic past winter. What is it? Fall, winter. So winter, I think, is over probably around February, March. And I think once we get to that year kind of time frame, we're dealing with the pandemic. Vaccines come out, changing the guard in the United States with the presidency, a new way to attack this thing. Then we're gonna start to see some changes in where people put their money. So why do I say that? I say that, yeah, the forecast have been 40,000, but okay, but here's the thing. Let's just say, and I don't know what time frame we're talking about for those forecasts. We've been here before, right, Mr. Moore? Think about this, Ms. Moore. When you sold at 19,000 or 18,000, when people started selling, then they also have forecasts for it to get to 25, 30,000, right? So when we seen the same spike, the same spike we've been through. We've been here before. We just got to learn from what we've done before. We've seen this big spike take place in 2017. We had the forecast. Everybody talking about, it's going to the moon. It's going to the moon, right? And then that thing tapered off. It was just too fast, too soon. I think the same thing is going to happen. It's not that it won't get to 40,000. I just don't think it's going to just skyrocket to 40,000. The same way that back in 2017 it skyrocketed to 25 or 30,000. So the thing is, okay, well, yeah, be ready, right? So if I learn from the past, right? Everybody put in console, learn from the past. If I learn from the past, I can say, okay, well, I've seen this kind of spike before in 2017. I saw what happened after that. Is it more likely, that, let's just say in the next 6 months, do you think it's more likely that Bitcoin is going to get to 40,000? Okay, right now it's at 30,000. Let's say it's at 30,000. Do you think it's more likely, and I want you to answer this in the comments below, you think it's more likely that this in the next 6 months, in the middle of the year, 2020, do you think that Bitcoin will be 40,000, 30,000, or 20,000? What do you think it'll be more likely to happen? It's already been through a whole, rush from March. Can you imagine this going from 5,000 to 20 to almost 30,000 in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 8 months? This thing going from 5,000, valued at $5,000 to $30,000. That's what, 600%, 700%, 600% in 8 months. And we're coming to the end of what probably was a big push for it getting there. What do you think? You think it'll be more likely that it'll keep on going and get to 40,000? You think it's going? You think some people are going to start cashing in, kind of take their profits a little bit. Now they got a little. This is their personal stimulus, economic stimulus. You know what I'm saying? Now think about it. I don't know about you guys. How many of you guys have actually invested in Bitcoin? But do you instead of waiting on that $600 check, you know what I'm saying, you could have had your money going up 600% while you waited. You know what I mean? It's easy to look in the past and be like, man, we missed out on an opportunity for many that did. Some of us didn't miss this opportunity. Some of us have always been in it. I've been holding. Some of us been holding. They say 300,000 by the end of 2021. Man, that's you know what I found to be interesting about the Day Says is they always say something before, but then when their predictions are not necessarily don't come to fruition, they're nowhere to be found. They don't come back and be like, you know what, I was wrong, but boss, my bad. This is forecast, but I don't really pay attention to forecast like that. I pay attention to my intuition, my knowledge, and say, okay, what's more likely to happen? Now I don't know if it gets to 2021, the end of 2021. That's the end of next year. That just doesn't seem to be even fathomable. Not that it can't happen, but you know how long it took for it to get to 30,000, let alone get to 300,000. That would be a 10x. You have to 10x what it is currently right now in the next 12 months for it to be at 300,000. That's crazy. No, that's just. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely. Okay. You think that it'll keep going? Paper currency is yeah. We get into. I'm telling you, how many guys are actually investors? How many guys are actually investors? How many guys are actually invested? Like you have something that you own, you've invested in it, and you've seen it, become more valuable. You've seen it lose value. If you got some type of retirement fund, you've seen it, lose value during the pandemic. You've seen it kind of come back. You've seen it go up and down. You've seen this stuff happen before. This is no different. It's just more volatile. When I say more volatile, it moves faster in a shorter amount of time, right? But it's very similar chart. Whew. In January, everybody getting a big check. A big check, I know, right? Y'all wait $600. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about crypto. I'm sorry, Coinbase. So I just find that phenomenal, guys. I just find that very interesting. Again, we've seen this kind of take place in 2017. We saw the retraction come, a 2-year retraction, basically through the end of from 2018. No, a 1-year retraction. We saw it begin to kind of try to test that $10,000 range again in the middle of 2018, and then we saw it retract again until the pandemic, and we see it kind of take off ever since then, where it's currently at 28,455,597. It's always changing. It never stops moving. But over this past year, it's up 296% for the whole year. So if you invested in Bitcoin a year ago, today, and a year later, your money has more than tripled, in value, to the tune of almost 300%. So very, 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 good progression for the value of this particular coin. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Coinbase tonight is, because I believe it's very user friendly, and I wanted to share some things with you guys. In case you guys this might be your first time seeing Coinbase. What I like about Coinbase from a user perspective, and it's something that you can use. Obviously, they got charts. They look at this trade. There, 70% of people are buying Bitcoin. They're holding it 88 days. It's the number one most held coin on this particular platform, which would be a marketplace. Kind of talks you about Bitcoin. You can go to the official site, learn more about Bitcoin or any other coins that are here. You got news just like you would have any other financial website. You'll have like your little portfolio. You have what they like about Coinbase is what they give you an opportunity to earn some free stuff, free coins. You can invite people and get some some Bitcoin for that as well by bringing them to the network, which I'll share with you guys my link in case you guys want to use Coinbase to acquire some cryptocurrencies. And then you can see I have a crypto watch list, right? Which is pretty cool because I am I do watch lists for my stocks that I invest in. And I have a watch list now for cryptocurrency. So I'm going to be diving more into watching it, which means I want to learn more about it. But, I started with just watching, the top 5 cryptocurrencies, see what they do, how they've been doing. I go in and look at the chart and learn more about it as well. Oh, you did? Hey, sadly, did I introduce you to Coinbase? Or you got it from somewhere else? I remember I did this like 2 years ago. I remember I did this like 2 years ago. And in case you guys want to, I left the link on the video or whatever. If you don't have a space for you to buy or to acquire or to exchange cryptocurrency. I just put the link again in the chat, and it's also in the description. You just click on it. That's just a referral link. If I'm introducing you to this platform and you feel like it's something that you want to use to try to dive into cryptocurrency, so be it. So be it. So you can do a little watch. Let's look at this. Market's up 1.75%. They've changed a lot here. They've just upgraded the visual perspective of this platform. So just like I'm looking at Coin Market Cap, I'm over here now on Coinbase looking at their thing as well. And then if I come over here, I think I just did that. I can click on any of these as well. You can also earn rewards. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do this as well. When they come out with a new coin or something like that, they actually have like little stuff for you to do where you can learn about the coin, and then you can earn, a couple dollars of that coin, which if it's free, it's like free money just for going to class, right? Open digital for digital payments. You can watch the video, talk about what CeeLo is, compound is, all this stuff. So you can come here. I gotta come here and I gotta do all my rewards. Just earn me some free money for going through these classes and learning more about these coins that I don't know about. So this is what I like about Coinbase. That they're not only just a place for you to kind of exchange and acquire cryptocurrency, but they also have places where you can learn about new cryptocurrencies that are coming out, which I think is cool because the knowledge base is so important. I don't know of any other platform that's doing it like this, giving you free money to go to class and learn about these coins. And obviously they're going to want you to invest in and stuff like that. But you can see the use, the use of value, or the use of the usefulness of particular coins that are out, not just Bitcoin, and how they plan to be used, or why they are being created in the first place. I would also say I think Coinbase does a good job of vetting. Right. Getting not allowing like trash, quote unquote trash coins on their platform to be traded on their platform. So if it's something that's kind of skeptical for them, you got to kind of go through a process to be approved to even trade through Coinbase. I think that Coinbase is one of the largest, I guess you can call it an exchange place. I'm not going to say it's the best, but I would say it's the largest. It's kind of like when I look at like an exchange, like a brokerage account. You got TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Fidelity, Vanguard, all these places, right? Oh, okay, Lamar, cool, Mr. Wilson, yeah, cool. I think we were talking about it about the same time. I would say that TD Ameritrade is probably the most popular, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best. So it's the same thing here. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best, but I think it's the most popular and it's the easiest place for you to get started. If you want to kind of increase your knowledge and learn more about cryptocurrency, why all these different coins are being created, what they're going to be used for. Each has specifics, and they're targeting, I guess you can say, different industries or different reasons for them to even be used. And let's understand that this is not a new phenomenon. It may be new to you, but this is kind of taking over financial markets. When you have like a Akon who's using tokens or cryptocurrency in order to push forward his nonprofit in Africa. When you have Facebook creating their own cryptocurrency, I think it's called Libra, to be used to be used on the Facebook ecosystem. When you have a country like Venezuela who created their own cryptocurrency, so they could kind of become independent and really become independent of the taxation that was on them from the United States. All this is happening when you have Jamie Dimon, who was the CEO of JP Morgan and Chase, who used to demonize cryptocurrency. when it first came, when he first kind of heard about it, started talking about it, he used to demonize it. Now he's had to retract what his original thoughts were for cryptocurrency. We have someone like Warren Buffett, who's like, he don't necessarily understand it, but he's not going to discount it or dismiss it. So financial markets are being affected, and we saw the impact, right? We just saw the impact of 5,000 to almost 30,000 in 9 months. This is what this is a new space for money, a new space for even investment, a new space for now, not just money, a new space for, I guess you could say, fintech, which will be financial technology, right? This is a new space for that. New to us, not new, but new to us. So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I first heard about it, I was probably in the same position that many of you might be. Like, what is this? What is it all about? Yeah, I don't get it. I didn't get it. But I decided to learn what I didn't get. You know what I mean? I tried to say, man, let me, if y'all talking about it, let me learn as much as I can about it. And then it began to make sense to me. And I would say to you that get to a space before some of us will just kind of jump into something without any knowledge. That's okay. I think it's, some people are willing to take that type of risk. It's okay. But get to a space where you understand it, right? One of the main, I guess you could say, main premises that I stand on is invest in what you understand. If you don't understand it, right, then you're just gambling, because you're saying, hey, I hope, right? I hope and I wish and I pray, but I don't understand what I'm doing. Well, then don't do it, right? Get to a space where you can understand it. So if you don't understand, it's like, okay, well, let me dive into this. Let me learn what I can about it. Let me read up some things. Let me take these little classes. Let me at least, get on the platform where I can get some education. Let me tune into something like this where we can have discussions about it, and let's do it more often. Let's start diving into these different coins, what they do, and why they even exist, and why they even created, and things like that, right? I definitely don't want people who have worked so hard to acquire the money that they have to invest with a lotto mentality. What I mean by that is that, okay, well, I got a little extra $600 now, came from my stimulus check. I want to do something with it. I don't know what to do. Let me just go put it somewhere. That's at least you're taking some action. Well, how about take the time now to learn about some of these different vehicles, right? To understand it, so that when you do get your money, when you do get some money, whenever that may be, you ain't got to be concerned about. How many guys been in a position? Let me ask you this: how many guys been in a position? And I remember this, man. This is back when I was younger. How many guys been in a position where you didn't have the knowledge, but you had some money? No. You didn't have the wisdom, but you had some money. How many guys been in that position before in your life where you didn't have wisdom, you didn't have the knowledge and the wisdom, financial knowledge, so you financially literate, but you had the money. You came across some money some way, somehow. You got the good job. You got the bonus. You closed some big deal. You sold the house and got a $10,000, $15,000 check. It was your first time coming into big money. And what I mean by big money, I mean it big. You define big for yourself, because big money is different to everybody. But you came across some money, but you didn't have the knowledge. How many guys? I remember being in this position. I was scared. I was like, wait a second. The first time having $3,000. I was like, I got $3,000. What am I gonna do with it? I don't know what to do with it, right? I got it. You be scared because you don't know what to do. You don't know. You never thought that you would be in a position where you got a little bit of money. And I think many of us have been in a position where we've had a little bit, whether that be an extra $500, extra $1,000, whatever the case may be, but we didn't have the wisdom. And so without that wisdom, that money kind of left real fast. right? A fool and his money will soon part ways, right? A fool and his money will soon part ways. So the reason why I am where I am now, and I do what I do now, is because I've been in that position where I've done a lot of stupid stuff with money. I've always been able to generate cash flow. I just have not always been in a position where I knew what to do with it. And that's the difference between, I would say between being wealthy and poor. It's wisdom. Yeah, y'all might want to write that one down. The difference between wealthy and poor is wisdom. It's not really, I mean, it has a little bit to do with how much you make, but it really has more to do with what you do with what you make, regardless of how much you make. Right? Hey, Sadler said, man, Timothy said, hey, that right there, shake my head. What's up, K Yawa? Hey, I can't say that last name. Thanks so much for joining. Hey, I've had money, but pissed it away in my ignorance. We just be honest up in here. I was there 15 years ago. I had a few bucks, no responsibility, but didn't have enough investment knowledge. Man, I tell you, I got money from the government. I was like, what can I do with this? So I used that money to buy stuff. I hear that. We've been there, right? Wisdom is the key. So the reason why I'm going to kind of be using some time to dive into this stuff with you guys, it's just be a little journey. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about when I'm gonna talk about it, but I think that it'll be good to begin to learn more about this thing called cryptocurrency and just learn more about money, period. This is one form of money. It's not the only form, but I believe we're diving into something that could very well be the future of finance, be the future of how we exchange in a lot of different ways. It may take a while for it to be adopted the same way it took a while for ride sharing to be adopted, the same way it took a while for a lot of different new things that are acceptable now, that it took a while for it to become mainstream. I think we're looking at one of those things that bodes that's taking its claim to be the future of finance. That doesn't mean that the dollar will just disappear, but we are starting to see more and more that we're moving as a society, as a world, to more of a cashless society. I mean, that's just we can experience that. I mean, not too many of us even right now carry cash. Not too many of us right now. We've transitioned from traditional banking to now using Square and PayPal and Cash App. You see what I'm saying? Like, these things kind of happen, and we just kind of adopt them and start using them. I mean, how many times whenever I sell something now, if people are like, hey, what form of payments do you accept? I take cash and Cash App. Oh, I got Cash App. And not many people are saying, hey, I got cash. Not many people saying, hey, I'm gonna go to the ATM. Oh, I send you Cash App. Or I use Zelle. Right. So we're living in a time where whether we acknowledge it or not, things have changed while we have lived, and we've just adopted it and started using it. Right. What I'm saying is, by recognizing that one idea, that thought, that, hey, wait a second, there's things now that I accept and that I'm using now that I was kind of forced to use because everyone else started adopting it. Well, if I can get in front of that in some or even in the middle of it, and I can allow my money to be my introduction into that space, then if I'm right in my disposition, if I'm right in my thought process, if I'm right in my belief of what's to come for the future, then my money has no choice but to grow with the change in society. Think about what I'm saying. Right? She said autonomous society. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share. I always do this. I love to do this. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share one thing that you believe will be accepted and or changed about the way in which we either has changed or is changing with the way in which we live. You see it coming, you feel it coming, and it's already happened, or it's happening right now. And you're like, man, we're not going back to CDs no more. We're not going back to, records. We're not going back to cassette players. We're not going back to 8 tracks. We could probably rattle it off when it comes to music, right? When it comes to music, we can rattle it off. Some of y'all been here for a little while, so you guys can help me out, right? And I can only go back to the 8 track. What was before the 8 track? Anybody know what was before 8 tracks? Anyway, we got 8 tracks. Then we got records, right? Then we got cassettes. Then we got CDs. Then we got what was after that? The iPod, the iPods, right? Like the little Walkmans, but digital Walkmans, right? Then we got what we got now. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see how the progression is going with music? Let's go to phone, right? We had the rotary phone, right? Oh, Ms. Marie, records were before 8 tracks. Records were probably before 8 tracks. Yeah, they probably were, because 8 tracks went to cassettes. Right? We had the rotary phone, right? Telecommunications, rotary phone, then rotary phone to push button phone to beepers, right? You see what I'm saying? You see, if we just go back and just start, like, look at how this industry has changed over time, then we can say, okay, well, what would be different for money, right? What would be different for money? All right, cable TV is changing. Cable TV. Okay, so we went from what, antennas, little bunny ears, to, whoo, this is tough. Went from bunny ears. I don't know. I don't watch TV too much, so I don't know. Well, hey, what I'm talking about, Deshaun, was last time you used a floppy disk. That's what I'm talking about. Remember floppy disk for the computers? Hey, so here's the thing. I'm glad somebody, who is this? I don't know who this is. So Airbnb with real estate, right? That's the change in the way in which we do things. Let me change my screen here. I know I'm just kind of rattling and talking about stuff now. So Airbnb, for those that don't know, Airbnb just went public, right? They just went public. They went public during the pandemic, by the way. Matter of fact, Airbnb, I was a big customer of mine for 2020. So, the way in which accommodations are, accommodations changing, right? So people are choosing to, to now, instead of go to a hotel or something like that when they travel or whatever, or they just want to get away for a minute, they may choose Airbnb as a space that's closest to where they're going to be, someone's home or someone's, some landlord who has an additional space. They go there. It might just be for a party. It might be for a week, whatever the case may be. And so Airbnb is changing the way in which people do, I guess you could say, business, real estate, accommodations. I guess you could say what I would say. And that it's probably a different. I wonder how they have it listed, but it's probably like a subsection in real estate. You know what I mean? It's like a subsection in real estate. You have the people who own the real estate, but then you have the people that's you're going there to rent. Winnie the Pooh record play. The way in which we buy merchandise in department stores has changed forever, right? Obviously, online e-commerce, Mr. Brother Wichita Cheesecake Company, e-commerce continue to grow, right? So the point that I'm making, the transference of money, right? How we transfer money, that's changed. That's changing. That's changed. What I'm saying is, once we take a moment to sit and think about what has changed, what has been, what is, then we can start to think about what will be. Let me say that again. Once we take a moment to sit and think about, reminisce over what was. This is how it used to be, right? Then we can talk about, okay, well, how is it now? We in the present. We can use that kind of motion to not just guess. It's more of a real good prediction of how things will be in the future. You may not be able to go too far out in the future, but you can go to the end of 2021. You can probably go to the next 5 years. Say, man, this is how this thing is progressing. It's almost like the natural progression of evolution. This is where it used to be. Here's where it is now. This is where it's probably going. And that's what I think we can do when it comes to any industry, but in particular, we're talking about hospitality. That's right. Hospitality. I think combination hospitality industry. In particular, we could talk about finance. We could talk about money. We can talk about currency, and that's what cryptocurrency is. That's what a form of one form of cryptocurrency being Bitcoin is. It's a disruption in currency. It's the evolution of money, and how we transact, and what we use to record. And I'll get into, and for those that next week I will dive into Bitcoin so we can understand that a little bit better, since that is a dominant coin. And I may go through some other ones as well. I spend a lot of my time just really talking about this for the new year. No matter what value or how, whether some goes up, some goes down, we'll watch it. I think if we have a space where we could come and just dialogue, at least, even for those that have knowledge, don't have knowledge, we'll all grow with that, right? We'll all grow from that, because the people that have the knowledge will share, the people who don't will learn, and then the questions will come, and there'll be things to discuss and talk about, and then next thing you know, we're like, you know what? I understand that a little bit better. That makes a little bit more sense to me. 3 years ago, it began to make more sense to me. 3 years ago, when I was getting called to do presentations and discuss this thing, and people still was like, I don't get it, I don't believe, and stuff like that. And I was like, listen, all I can do is share with you the information. What you do with it is on you. I've been in since $1,200. I took a chance. I began to understand. I watched what was happening in the world. I start seeing, all these, Bitcoin. How many guys have seen the Bitcoin ATM? How many guys has seen a Bitcoin ATM in your? I live in the hood, right? I live in Decatur, where it's greater. I'm in the hood, right? When I go up to the hood mall, right, next to the ATM in the gas stations, they got a Bitcoin ATM, right? Why would they have Bitcoin ATMs popping up all over the place if it was not going to become? And I said this 3 years ago. If it was not going to become something that was going to be a thing. Russell Okung from the Panthers, the offensive tackle, he just became the first NFL player to be paid in Bitcoin. You can get Bitcoin. These apps are now adopting. Cash App is adopting Bitcoin, where you can actually acquire Bitcoin through their platform. It's becoming mainstream. Mr. Yawa, where are you located at, Yawa? You probably have just not noticed. It's there, but you probably haven't noticed that it's there, because it looks like a regular ATM. You probably just didn't know it was a Bitcoin ATM because it looks like a regular ATM. But it's there. I'm not quite sure where you are. I'd love to know where you are, what city or what country. I could be misspeaking, especially if you're not in the United States, but definitely in the United States and all over the world. You're starting to see these things pop up all over the place. Now, back 3 years ago, I was like, man, I need to be one of the people that's lending out these ATMs. You know what I'm saying? Yawa, I didn't say it right. Is that a play? DMV? Oh, come on, it's in the DMV. You in DC? Yeah, give me a zip code. I'll pull it up for you. You just haven't noticed, and that's the thing. Like, there's things that are happening. That's why I'm saying we take a moment to just sit down and think. There are things that are happening that we just. I'm sorry, the sister, my fault, sister. There are things that are happening around us that we just don't notice. But just because we don't notice doesn't mean that they're not happening. Right? And so because we're having this conversation today and you happen to be here, you're going to begin to notice what you haven't noticed. You see what I'm saying? So it's put in Bitcoin ATM 20774. Look at this. Does this happen to be over near you somewhere? Oh, you probably can't see it. You're in 20774. I think I put it in right. Coin flip Bitcoin ATM 2725 Bladensburg Road, Northeast. Bitcoin of America ATM in Marlboro, Maryland. Get coins in ATM Central Avenue of 45th, Capitol Heights, Maryland. Well, it's been you've been in a bubble for 9 months, but this has been going on for 10 years. This is not a 9-month thing. This is a 9-year thing. It's just, again, you're going to begin to notice them now that we're having this conversation. Let's do images, right? These are what they look like, right? So I don't know. This is what a Bitcoin ATM looks like. It just kind of looks like oh, I don't want to do that. I thought I could. I don't know how I can. Yeah, there we go. That's what a Bitcoin ATM looks like, by the way. That's what it looks like. So the first one you wouldn't even know unless you walked up to us over that Bitcoin. The second one obviously is, you can tell. That's what it looks like. So they're all over the place. It's not, 3 years ago we were talking about how these things, are kind of popping up. So, what I was gonna say. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So I began to see these things, with my own eyes, and I was like, okay, this is becoming a thing. What it's becoming, I don't know, but it's becoming a thing. And then I said, well, if it's becoming a thing, I want to be, I want to be in front of that thing when it comes to my investments, when it comes to my money. Because if I'm in front of it, then my money will grow with it. And here's the thing. What typically happens is that we become a part of these changes or evolution or trends. We participate in them. We adopt them. We use them. All this stuff, right? But very seldom do we see them coming to the point that we invest in those changes. And when you get to a space where you can invest in those changes, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow. I'm going to do another presentation tomorrow on the stock market, because we're going to be we're going to be talking about 2021 and the changes that we can expect, or what we can expect for 2021 now that we've been through 2020, right? What can we expect? What is it that we expect to happen to happen in 2021 as it relates to the economy? And if what we expect to happen does happen, do we believe in our expectation enough to put our money where our mouth is? And then if you put your money where your mouth is, and in your resolve for the expectation of what is to come, and you are correct, then you feel good about you putting your money where your mouth is. Most of the time when people lose money, what I found, it's because they didn't put their money in the space where they have resolve. Everybody putting comments on resolve. They didn't put their money in the space where they had resolve. They were taking a risk. They were taking a gamble. They were just hoping. No. You got to resolve, man. This is probably what's going. 2021. This is probably what's going to happen. This is probably what's going to take place. With this recovery, with this getting through this vaccine, with we establishing a new normal, right? And if I believe it enough, because I've looked at the past, I'm current with what's going on in the present, and I can see I get a respect or a belief, a foundation of what is to come, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, where my belief is, where my hope is. Not where my hope is. I don't want to say where my hope is, where my belief is, because it's a belief to say, you know what? Man, how much longer are we going to be dealing with the extremities of this pandemic? We'll probably be still dealing with the residue or the aftermath. But how long will we be dealing with the extremeness of this pandemic? right? Yeah, a glimpse of the futures. That's what I'm talking about, Miss Marie. And so I'm sharing this with you guys because when you get to this space, you can use this for all your investments. You see what I'm saying? Not just for cryptocurrency or not just for the stock market. You can use the same philosophy. I'm talking about a philosophy for real estate. You can use the philosophy for Forex. You can use the philosophy for whatever it is that you choose for business. You can use it. This is just a philosophy, man. I've experienced what I've experienced living in the past. I'm current where I am right now, and here's where I see us going as a business, as a society, as a people, as a family. Here's where I see us going, and I believe it so much, right, that I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Right? That's what people do when they gamble. They believe that their team's going to win the Super Bowl so much they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But we're not talking about so much. Man, there's a lot of variables. There's always going to be variables. But some of this stuff is just, we got to get to some sense of normalcy at some point. There's this guy, we'll pick back up on that. I'm gonna have a good time tomorrow. I'm gonna have a good time tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll be coming back to do more, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency discussions, and have some fun. So, I don't, we'll just take it as we go for the new year. And then, like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna schedule something tomorrow night. For those that are saying, I want to get, notify me. I don't listen. What I think the easiest thing to do is wherever you are seeing me at now, you just simply go and click subscribe if it's a subscribe button, or follow if a follow button, like if you like, and then you click on notifications. That way, when I schedule, a live, then you'll be notified, and you can come on and be with us, or you can catch the replay. That's the best way to go, man. So whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, or whatever, that's the best way to go. So we'll come back tomorrow. We'll be talking tomorrow about the stock market tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do a little bit earlier because I know it's New Year's Eve and you guys want to party. But one of the things that I want to make sure that I'm doing, I would probably say probably 7. I think 7 is a little bit, before y'all get too down there. I mean, because I want my money to party. That's what for 2021, I need my money to be partying. You know what I'm saying? I need my money to turn up. How many guys need your money to turn up in 2021? I need my money to turn up. I mean, for many of us, we had to turn down in 2020, right? It turned down in 2020. I need my money to turn up. I mean, I can turn up any point in time. You know what I'm saying? I can get the bubbly and all that good stuff and enjoy and appreciate that we made it through another year. And yes, it's a new year, new time, new cup. But I need my money. How many guys need your money to turn up in 2021? Well, in order for you to get your money to turn up, you got to start visualizing. You got to start forecasting for the future. You got to start thinking to yourself, what is it going to be like in 2021? I need my money to turn up. I need my business to turn up, right? Now, there's a lot of things I'll be focusing on that I probably, need to give a little bit less time to. All the stuff that's going on that I can't control, all that stuff, that's why I get tired, man. Will y'all stop calling my phone, talking about vote? Listen, I'm so, y'all didn't know me. Y'all still don't know me. Man, this is solicitation. I need to take them through whatever the case may be. Can I stop getting text messages, phone calls? Can y'all stop spamming me, trying to get me to do something for you? No, I need my money to turn up. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. I'm gonna focus on, okay, what do I need? What do I need to put my attention to for a short amount of time? Not all my life, but just an hour, 2 hours. Say, man, let me just think about this for a second. Where's this? What is it gonna be like in 2021? What's the economy going to be like? How are things going to be? Will things go back to how they were, or how do I expect these different things? So we just went through a whole, different industries, right? We went through different industries. The top man went from here to here to here to here to here. Okay, well, where is it going to be? Where is it going? Where is it going? Not only where is it going, where are you going? Not only where is these industries going, not only where is the economy going, where are you going? Where's your business going? These are things we need to discuss, things we need to think about, things we need to ponder. Where are you going for 2021? Your money, your finances, where are they going? Your businesses that you either started or thought about starting, where are they going? Where are you going in 2021? Well, beautiful people. All right, that's my time. I had fun. I hope you did too. We'll be back tomorrow again. I think it's about 7 o'clock. I'll schedule it. I'll get it out there. If you get the notification, come on back. We'll have a good time tomorrow. Just an hour or so. Then you guys will go and get ready to bring in 2021 with a bang, because we're already looking ahead towards that thing. Looking ahead towards that thing. So I appreciate your time. We'll have more discussions about Bitcoin. I'm your boy, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises and the Black Bazaar. And I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until the next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.